I'm really jealous of what Valorant teams have been gifted by Riot Games.
Going to the gym made you more toxic. That toxic masculinity made you play more on soloQ.
60% of the success in soloQ and winning is by your mental, not chatting, not being a keyboard warrior and just hiding your ego. It's harder to get from Master Elo rather than stay in Challenger because you're playing with animals.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Fabryka Esportu podcast. Today I have David Podsiadło joining me today. But in all seriousness, I'm Stan, I'm the CEO of Fabryka Esportu, and joining me is Peter, or Czarny Piotruś, our League of Legends agent. Hey Peter.
Hello. Nice to be here.
Yeah, finally we managed to do the League of Legends podcast, so happy about that. And yeah, today we are going to talk about the topic of building your personal brand as a player, like why it matters, how to do it, and how it's going to help you in your career. Peter is also very well known for his content creation, so I'm pretty sure he will be able to tell us a little bit about his perspective on that topic.
Yeah, hopefully people will find it interesting. Obviously, we'll have a guest, which will be Syzyfek, so I'm really looking forward to talking to him about his experience with building personal brand, which is something that is a whole new world compared to building your brand as someone who is just a part of a broadcast or just an expert. If you're a player and you need to put together playing soloQ scrims and then you want to add to it building your personal brand, this is something really hard.
Definitely, yeah.
You can see in the timestamps maybe where the interview will start. So yeah, but before we go into that, because we probably have some viewers who were here for Valorant, and as we switch to League of Legends ecosystem, I wanted to ask you, Stan, about the differences and maybe similar things between those two ecosystems, because those games are both from the same developer. It's obviously Riot Games, but they are a little bit different, right?
That's true. A lot of similarities, but also some crucial differences. When it comes to similarities, it's also a closed ecosystem. So as in Valorant, we have VCLs and VCT. In League of Legends, we have ERLs, which stands for European Regional Leagues, and LEC, which is a franchise league where all the best players and all the biggest organizations are. Another difference between ecosystems that has a big consequences to that is the fact that you cannot qualify to LEC as opposed to in VCT you can get to it through Ascension. In LEC you have to buy a slot in the league, which right now goes for around 40 mil from what I understand, so pretty penny. But because of that you cannot qualify to LEC, there are academy teams. Unfortunately, they are not obligatory anymore, so there has been a lot of reductions in that. But there are still some academies in LFL, in LVP, in Prime League, which is a German league. So yeah, there are some academies which help get the talent from ERLs to LEC. So some differences, some similarities, but yeah. That the biggest similarity, of course, is Riot Games being the developer, which always brings a ton of really nice surprises when it comes to calendars, tournament formats. They hate to keep us bored, so that's true. That's the similarity.
That's true. So when you compare those two ecosystems, obviously the one that we have in League of Legends was developed a little bit earlier. So probably the one that we see currently in Valorant is the better one, because you can add some nuances. You can improve some things that are not maybe in the best shape in the current League of Legends ecosystem. But would you say that everything about Valorant ecosystem is better than what we see in League of Legends?
It's hard to say, because obviously Riot Games is really clear about their policy. They want to have their partner teams, and they want the partner teams to drive the viewership for the esports part. They don't really care about tier 2. They want the partners teams to thrive, and if everybody else suffers, they couldn't care less. That's really transparent in some of the Riot heads like opinion and their public tweets. So it sounds extremely harsh, but unfortunately that's the case, right? So I think the old ecosystem is a factor. Like when LEC was introduced and LCS before that, there was the hype for franchise leagues. Everybody believed that they are going to be the next NBA, the next NFL, and a lot of sports people, a lot of venture capital investors, they invested a lot of money into getting those slots. But then they kind of realized that those slots are not really worth what they were sold for. A lot of teams just decided, okay, I bought this slot for 8 million, I sold it for 25, I made profit, I'm out. And right now, with the esports winter upon us, it seems like nobody's really looking to spend 10 million on getting a slot in VCT. So instead, Riot created a different ecosystem where they invited the top teams in order for them to bring the eyeballs to the league, and they pay them participation fees for content creation and digital items and stuff like this. Obviously, the problem is now that Riot saw that actually we gave too much money to the teams, so they are scaling it back.
Yeah.
I think it was reported that they scaled back the content side, so the teams lose on average about $500,000 per team from their budget, which is a lot of money.
I believe they said that they will be compensated with cut from digital goods being bought by the players. Is it correct or no?
They already have it.
Okay. Will they receive a bigger cut or how does it work?
I really think that Riot, when they first calculated it, they thought, okay, X amount of team bundles will be sold, and so we have to give them some money on the side for the content.
Okay.
But more items were sold, so they were like, we are giving them too much money, we have to scale back. So they took this part away and they are just keeping that.
But on the other hand, like, if this is true, if really the amount of items related with professional esports teams, if they are selling good, I mean, it's a great information, right? For example, in League of Legends, it's really hard to support your team within the client of the game, because you can buy the championship team, right? You have T1 skins.
But that's for one team, right?
Yeah, it's for one team. You can obviously have some icons or emotes with logos of the team, but I don't think it's enough. So maybe Valorant will give an impulse to League of Legends developers team that this is worth it to invest in those items related with teams, because people want to buy it, and there are people that want to spend money on esports stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And I think just overall the topic of lack of transparency on how much money the esports actually makes for the game developers is actually the biggest factor holding the esports industry back. It's obvious that esports makes money for the developers, but it costs money and people lose money on the organizational side and on tournament organizer side. So it's a long topic. We could complain about Riot and their ways for a long time, but in the end they own the game, so they can pretty much do whatever they want with that, so it's no point. I really think that the Valorant system is an improvement, or the League of Legends system. I would say it causes like even more polarization within the like between tier 1 and tier 2. I think the fact that there are academies, and because of that there is some viewership, more viewership in the local scenes, this helps the local scenes. Like when it comes to Valorant, like even Spain is struggling, right? So it's tough to see that. It's really unfortunate, but I think it's a move in the right direction. So hopefully something good can come out of it.
As a person who is participating in this League of Legends ecosystem for a while now, I'm really jealous of what Valorant teams have been gifted by Riot Games. I think this semi-open ecosystem is really helpful, especially for young players that want to prove themselves, and they can just, through the grind and being the better version of themselves, they can be one day as good, so that the teams that are on the top level just have to consider them to get them to the roster, right? And in a second we'll be able to talk with one of those players who also wants to chase the esports dreams. Unfortunately not in Valorant, so it's not that easy, but as we hope, Syzyfek's career will be as good and as quick developed as the ones that we can see in Valorant.
Yeah, for sure, and I really think that it's harder for people to get to the top level in League of Legends, especially since like the League of Legends is it's quite an old game, whereas Valorant is quite new. So in the first years of Valorant, there was a lot of Overwatch pros or CS pros who just came over and were dominating for a while. But right now, there is a whole complete new generation of kids who are taking over in the VCT, and I think because the league has been around for so long, this sort of already happened. So I think right now in VCT, every year there are like 20 rookies coming in. How many rookies are coming into LEC? 5?
Not that much.
Yeah.
I mean, at the start of the year, it's quite a lot, but during the season, you just do not see the changes. Like even though we have 4 splits, let's say, in the LC, like teams usually stick to what they brought in the winter. Maybe they change 1 or 2 players, but they usually stick with the rookies and they switch between those older players with experience that provide shot calling or another things to the team, and they just stick to rookies and they give them time to develop a little bit more.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And like Peter, from your perspective, like because obviously you are the man in charge of scouting in our agency when it comes to League of Legends players, like when you look at the young player, like how do you judge a player? Like what makes a player stand out for you?
Oh, it's a really hard question. I would say that in League of Legends, judging someone's appearance is a really complicated process. So first of all, you have to consider the role that they are playing. Because for example, when we take a look at the bot laners, you have AD carry, you have support. So when you watch the team and you see AD carry pop off, all right, maybe he's just a wonder kid, he's great, but you don't really know how much of his success is connected to quality of his support, right? Maybe he's being micromanaged by the support. Maybe the player does not know a lot about macro or the matchups, and support provides the information while he's the worst player mechanically, right? What I like to do is, first of all, scout people that stand out in the lower tier leagues. When you see someone popping off, you just get him on the radar and then you track him. Is he consistent? Can he perform on different champions within different metas with different players in the roster? If you see that consistency, it's a good impulse that this player may achieve something more. What I like to do is talk to trainers or ex-teammates or other people that are just fascinated by the ERL ecosystem, and I try to like clash the opinions. Maybe someone noticed something that I didn't notice before, or maybe someone had some beef or connection with a player before, and it provides additional information. And when you get it all together, you can have some kind of an idea if a player is good or not. Obviously, it's really important to scout those players on the solo queue as well, because pro play is only one part of being a player. If you see that you have 70-year-old or 18-year-old kid which is grinding LPs like crazy and he's hitting high challenger, obviously something is going on. If he's not an OTP, if he has some background in pro play and he had a success, this is probably a good player. But you don't always know, because sometimes you sign a player, you work with a player, and then he gets burnt out, or he has some problems with being a leader, for example. Not everyone has those qualities, right? Not everybody can step up when teams need you, and even if you are more experienced, it's not a common thing, right? To have those leadership qualities.
It's a complex topic, for sure.
Yeah, it's a complex topic. We can go on and on. Get the idea who is good, who is bad.
The topic of scouting is a really complex one, and we have a privilege of working also with Arces, who is a data analyst for Team BTS, and he's focusing a lot on the aspect of scouting. So we may have him on the podcast someday to talk about how he actually does it. It's a lot of actually like machine learning algorithms that try to predict like who is going to be good and stuff like this. So it's there's definitely an aspect of eye test, And then there is like algorithmical computer science way to approach it. So it's going to be a very interesting conversation with Arses, I'm sure. So we'll get to that. But yeah, today we have the guest Syzyfek coming on. So I think without further ado, we can go to Syzyfek and yeah, we will see in a bit.
Okay, so as we told you before, we are currently speaking with Syzyfek, who is a part of our agency, and in this interview, we wanna focus on the development of a young talent. Syzyfek, it's really nice to have you here.
Hello guys.
We all know, because we are watching closely your career, but maybe not all of the viewers are up to date with what's happening in your career. We will go through it a little bit because it's quite an interesting story, actually. As we all remember, back in the day you were playing in the Ultraliga, and after rather a mediocre split in Iron Wolves, you got benched and you weren't playing, and then suddenly after the off-season you are playing in the LVP, you're a part of Guasones, you are doing a miracle run. So tell me, what happened during that period between benching you and joining this high-tier team in one of the best leagues within the YARL ecosystem?
I think the biggest part of the success, if I can call it like that, is positional coaching in second division Arabian League, because I asked myself if I improved while being in Ultraliga in Iron Wolves. But the thing is, I think I played the same. The thing is, when I got benched in Ultraliga, I had more time to play soloQ and grind. And when I played in second division in One More Esports, I had a really good positional coach who helped me actually grind to 1.3 KLP. It helped me with my mental and soloQ. And in Ultraliga Iron Wolves, the biggest improve that I saw in like my behavior, etc., in my performance is my mental. Like I just had to survive there, to be honest, without the coach, because we didn't have a coach. And after that, I told to myself that I actually can try to be better in league, be in major league next split, and I grinded solo Q once again, which helped me find a good team, good trials. The coach of Gozanes, Fearless, told me that I actually should play in LVP, and I actually should play in Gozanes because I'm good. I'm good at this level, for this level.
And I think also like after seeing your support bringing out Elise, like nothing will scare you ever again, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The biggest improve when it comes to like my playstyle and performance in game is second division Arabian League in One More Esports with Coach Stasko, who helped me with solo queue and grind and my mindset. And later on in Iron Wolves, it was like a checkpoint where I just had to see if I belong here with my mental, if I belong in esports with my mental, if I can do it for a longer period of time.
So maybe let's talk a little bit more about this whole mental aspect of grinding solo queue. This is an issue which is really common when we talk with the players. They are always complaining about the state of the solo queue, that they cannot play, that there is so much toxicity, they are tired after 1 or 2 games. So can you elaborate a little bit about keeping your mental in a good state? Because obviously you got to have a great mental to hit this 1.3 KLP or even more.
I mean, when it comes to mental, to be honest, in solo queue, people are right. It's hard to keep up good mental, but 60% of the success in solo queue and winning is by your mental, not chatting, not being a keyboard warrior, and just hiding your ego while playing like solo queue. And the biggest like improvement also when it comes to my mental was Stanisław, who told me every time that solo queue is my like ticket to a better team, better trials. And if I would like flame every LEC player, LFL player, then they would not have a good opinion about me. Obviously, I'm still typing sometimes. I'm still flaming because I mean sometimes I'm not doing it as much as I used to do it. I'm trying to fix it ASAP. Also, since I started going to the gym, I also started to type more, but I'm fixing it. I'm making progress. Also, in when I was playing in Master Elo, it happened a lot because I was playing with worse players, and Master Elo is like hell when it comes to solo queue. But now, since I'm like challenger, and I'm like 1.1 KLP, I think, it's way easier because I have respect to players who I play with, and I know that they are good players, so they are not inting me on purpose. They are just playing this game to win as me, as a team. So I stopped typing right now at this level. It was just hard for me to get from master. Same as every other player will say that it's harder to get from master elo rather than stay in challenger because you are playing with animals. It's so hard to actually play there and keep your mental like in a good spot.
So you're saying that going to the gym made you more toxic? That toxic masculinity made you flame more on solo queue, right?
Maybe not toxic, but I had bigger ego. I just started to feel that I have more power, you know? That
Okay.
I have more strength, so I just want to show it, you know? I just feel it, you know?
You like to
Well,
flex. You like to flex on the noobs in master.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay, be careful, guys, about the gym stuff. I always tell everybody that's very good, but here is the example of the downside of the gym. You can grow too big of an ego for solo
But,
queue.
but to be honest, since I started playing, going to the gym, I grinded solo queue like really fast because I had like 600 LP, 700 LP, and since I like started going regularly to the gym for like 1 month from now, I'm challenger constantly, and maybe it also helps with maybe I had more ego, but it helped me with some kind of routine, some kind of habits, and for sure it helped me a lot when it comes to in-game stuff.
So do you think that playing solo queue as a habit is a good thing actually? Because there is a big issue with players playing on an autopilot. Oh, that's the word that I
Uh,
was looking for. Because when you are not focused on the game, you can please play a lot, or you just don't care. You don't look on the minimap. You don't focus on like improving. And I really wanted you to tell us about how to grind efficiently, because some players just play a lot and they slowly grind their points, but obviously not everyone has so much time during a day. Obviously there are scrim days during the season and stuff, so you have to be really efficient, right?
Yeah, when it comes to like autopiloting on solo queue, that's the thing that I was talking with you guys, like on one of the meetings, where I was saying that I can't find the perfect balance between like playing solo queue, attending gym, having like in real life stuff, and with family meetings, etc., etc. And sometimes I have days where I play 21 solo queues, like on one sitting, and I'm just taking food from the fridge. I'm just sitting here and just playing, and then after 21 solo queues, I go gym and I go sleep. And sometimes I have days where I play 5 games in the morning because I like to play in the morning at like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. I win all of those games because I'm way better while playing in the morning. Then I do some stuff with my family, with my friends, with I go gym, and I end my day on 5 solo queues. And the day is better because I had more time for other things. I am plus 100 LP, for example, and everything is perfect. But when I play the 21 solo queues, I win those 5 first games, but after that, I think I can win more. I think I can grind more that day because I have time. So I play more, and then at the end of the day, I'm like on plus 0 LP. So it's like not worth, but my mindset can help me with when I should stop with solo queue. Right now, like last days of solo queue, I started playing only like 3 solo queues on my main account, uh, and I win those games. And if I don't, I know that I played really good because in the morning, as I said, I'm playing way better. And then I start doing in real life stuff, or I start doing reviews, or I play on my Smurf account, and I stream on my Smurf account, and I think it's getting better also. So I think it's a big accomplishment for me to fix this kind of stuff because I'm not, right now I'm not autopiloting, and if I am autopiloting, I'm just autopiloting on my Smurf account where I practice my mechanics.
Okay,
Okay.
so I wanted to like slowly close the topic of of the soloQ, but there's one thing that is really concerning me because there is an inflation of LP. With every year, it's getting worse. So I'm really interested. What's your opinion about this? Because when we look the highest ranking, they're like even 2,000 LP. So the difference between low master and challenger can be enormous, right? And when you look at the profile in the game, you can see that there's only like two divisions between those those players, while the actual level in terms of like awareness, mechanical prowess, and so on and so on and so on, is it's just two completely different things. It's a different game, right?
Yeah, right now I think Challenger. You need to have 1090 LP to get Challenger. It was never like that. It's the first time it actually hit one. It might hit 1.1k LP. The solution, I have the perfect solution, and I'm talking about it on like nearly every stream that I have. It's just don't have like MMR type of stuff and just have plus 25, minus 25 every game. And if you are like Grandmaster, you have plus 20, minus 25. And if you are Challenger, maybe plus, I don't know, 18 and minus 25. So if you are good, you will just grind. And there won't be like, I will make a new fresh account just to have more LPs, better MMR, etc., etc. People won't actually cry about it. Also, buying new accounts from the websites that you actually can't buy the accounts because
It's just illegal. Yeah.
the whole market would go down because people won't be like, oh, on this account I would have better MMR and it will fix my problems with LP gains, etc. Because everything would be the same. And if you are good, you will grind. If you won't be good, you won't grind. And MMR can be visible, but it shouldn't be visible on the LP that you get. So I won't have like Sona OTP from Master 300 LP in my team, because sometimes it's happening and it is what it is.
Yeah,
I
that's
would
fair.
have to say
That's
it.
fair. And tell us, like, obviously this was like your first proper year in the very like top ERL and LVP. Like, how did you feel in your rookie split there? Like, did you feel a lot of gap between your previous teams? Like, how was your experience?
When I first saw the teams on paper in LVP in Spring Split, I thought that I don't belong here. I thought that people will just stomp me on every lane and with spacing, with trading, and maybe not in teamfights because I always felt confident in the teamfights, but I was scared about my laning phase. But then when I saw it, how people are playing there, like while playing against them, I just saw that I belong here and I'm one of the best ADCs in LVP, and I'm not actually scared to say it because I think it's true. Yeah, when I saw it, I had a lot of respect to those players, but later on, I just saw that they are just not that good, and everything is doable. The person that actually helped me a lot with the kind of respect, etc., was Spudder from the Mito player from Spring Split, because he was always saying that Zeus is always making mistakes, always making and not having any kind of reasonable argument for it. He always was telling me that everyone is sometimes autopiloting, and not everyone is playing 100% like perfectly every game. So it's doable to even win 1v1s with the best players. And yeah, I think Spotter helped me a lot with this kind of respect. I'm kind of sad that I didn't actually experience any kind of boot camps or gaming house. I wouldn't say it's the best. It was the best year for me because I know I could do better in the second half of the year.
All right, so it was not fair for sure, and obviously you had some problems, and I want to focus on those related with gameplay and living in a team. So, what do you think is the biggest problem for the young players in the current competitive League of Legends ecosystem?
For the young players, the biggest problem is that you can't go from an ERL to LEC directly. And I don't know if there was actually a player that went directly to LEC and not while not playing in ERL. in like Europe right now in the past, like, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years. Maybe there
If
was,
we
but
do not consider Korean imports,
yeah, exactly,
it would be
exactly.
hard to find those guys.
Even
Honestly,
now,
let me
yeah,
check.
A couple
even
of
now,
players per year, like for example, we know that Kalista is 99% going to go to LES for
yeah,
LEC,
but he was
Yeah.
playing in URL in LFL, same as like even Ice or no, they were playing in Ultra League one split before going to LEC. They were still playing in those URLs. I think that's the biggest problem, that you can't go from
There's like
URL to LEC.
so there's like a gatekeeping in your opinion.
Yeah, exactly. The second, the one of the biggest problems is the EMEA Masters part. Is like it's so chaotic and it's hard to focus on players, like specifically on some players while this tournament is going,
Yeah.
and because there are a lot of games at once. You can't actually spectate every player, like, and review their playstyle. So scouts or coaches also might have a problem with that, and I think those are the biggest problems for young players right now. I think there are no more problems, because every time I hear that it's better to be young in esports, it's better to be 17 years old or 19, etc. Because then you have more time to improve, you have more time to actually develop new habits and new knowledge to be better as a player.
Okay, so like ending up this segment, like I wanted to ask you the last question, which is like, we all know that you're very active on social media. Sometimes you are a little bit controversial. Sometimes you like to do some memes, and we always love to see that. And you also stream a lot and stuff like this. We all remember the 24-hour streams and stuff like this. So I wanted to ask you, like, because a lot of people say that as a young player you need to focus on building your brand and stuff like this, and it's often like people often laugh at that. They say that all that matters is soloQ, and like we all understand that soloQ is extremely important. But could you tell us, like, how did like you building your brand, how did your streaming and stuff like this help you in your career so far?
I mean, it's for sure helped me with finding players and people that want to buy coaching from me. That's one of the biggest points, because if I wouldn't be active on social media, etc., people wouldn't know much about me, and they wouldn't watch me, so I wouldn't be able to actually afford any kind of money or like coach a lot of players.
Even back in the days, like I remember when you were streaming a ton after the Iron Wolves bench, like there were months that you were making more of streaming than you were doing in when you were getting paid in Ultraliga, and you used a lot of this money to buy coaching to improve as a player, right?
Yeah, exactly. I also was doing coaching to like gold players, plat players, etc., just to get coaching from positional coaches. Yeah, exactly. So I was able to afford it. For sure, it helped me with a lot of like events, like people inviting me to the events or doing TikToks for League of Legends Poland, and being a part of like organizing Ultra Liga finals once or twice, being on the analyst desk, etc. And if I wouldn't stream, if I would do like literally nothing and just play solo queue, I know that I wouldn't be invited, wouldn't be able to show myself. Same as on Meta Drift, I had my whole presentation how to become an esport player, and yeah, for sure it's helped me in that. When it comes to finding a team and building my own brand, I think, and I'm nearly sure that it helped me find a team for Frink this year, so it was Gozanes, because I was talking a lot with the owner Manute uh, about me being active on social media. I asked him a lot of questions about how to improve on that, about how to be more active on the social media and not being controversial, as you said. And yeah, it for sure it helped me a lot when it comes to also finding the team, because he was happy to have me in the team, because he was always helpful when it comes to social media parts, because he is streamer on his own, and it's his full-time job. So for sure he was satisfied with having me in the team.
And I think also like top organizations, like all the LEC teams, they all know that it's important for players to have their own brands. Like G2 is famous for it, that they always like worked a lot on building their players brand, and then like even helping them getting sponsorships and stuff like this. So like I'm really happy to see that the tier 2 teams in ERLs, they are also like trying to focus on that part to build their presence and to don't rely on the famous like organization ambassador who is going to drive all the traffic, but to also like have some help from the players. So
Exactly.
yeah, I definitely agree on that point.
I mean, I think it's same in Zero Sun City. They were saying that they want their players to actually
Yes.
stream a lot, and I like the idea. I like the idea because you don't even need to be like socially, like you don't need to even talk on streams. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to be creative. You just can just play solo queue and just stream it because people.
Let's be honest, brother. You talk a lot on stream. Like
I mean, I talk a lot, but I'm just saying that if you don't know how to interact with people on stream, you don't know how to talk to camera, etc. You just don't. You don't even have to have the camera. You don't need to be Jankos. Jankos is streaming for like 6K people average every. I don't know if every day, but for sure every week, and he is making second living out of it. So it also helps players find a plan B later on after the career of an esports player, because even if you can't be a coach, you can't be a manager, analyst, or I don't know, and you don't work in esports, you can still be a streamer and or a professional coach, and you will have the viewers, you will have attention of a lot of people because you are streaming. So people will know you, so you will have a second living out of it, and you will still be in esports in some way, and it won't be that risky for you and stressful that you won't be able to find a job later on.
Yeah.
And we can see it even in the biggest teams in the world. For example, T1 or Gen.G are kind of forcing their players to stream, so we can have a look at what Faker or Chovy does.
Exactly.
And it's the highest level in the world. So, okay, I think this wraps it up. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you, Syzyfek, to being here. Obviously, we recommend all of you to follow Syzyfek social media and follow his career, because we hope it's gonna be a big one. So once again, thanks for tuning in, and see you guys next time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye bye.